In human history, certain figures stand out as beacons of faith, guiding others through the often tumultuous journey of life. The Bible introduces us to remarkable faith leaders whose lives were marked by an unwavering commitment to their spiritual calling. Their stories not only serve as narratives of courage and devotion, but also illuminate the pathways through which they receive spiritual guidance. For caregivers entrusted with the noble task of providing physical and emotional support, these tales offer a wellspring of inspiration and timeless lessons. There are so many examples in Scripture that show our loving God's spiritual guidance to ordinary people, but in this lesson we're going to focus on the story of Moses. Moses' journey begins in the book of Exodus, where his birth is marked by the extraordinary circumstances of being hidden in a basket and rescued by Pharaoh's daughter. Despite being raised in the Egyptian palace, he never forgot his Hebrew heritage. His life took a dramatic turn when, witnessing the oppression of his people, he killed an Egyptian taskmaster. Fearing retribution, Moses fled to the wilderness, where he tended to sheep for 40 years. In the midst of the desolate surroundings, Moses experienced a profound encounter with God. At Mount Horeb, the burning bush captivated his attention. Intrigued, Moses approached, and God spoke to him from the midst of the flames, revealing his divine plan. The encounter with the burning bush marked the beginning of Moses' divine call to lead the Israelites out of bondage and into the promised land. As Moses began his mission to liberate the Israelites, God manifested his spiritual guidance through Moses with a series of miracles. The plagues that befell on Egypt showcased God's power. Each plague, from the turning of the Nile into blood to the darkness that enveloped the land, served as a testament to the authority of the God of Israel. Through these miraculous events, God not only displayed his might, but also demonstrated his commitment to guiding Moses in fulfilling his divine purpose. The parting of the Red Sea stands as one of the most iconic moments in Moses' journey. Faced with the insurmountable obstacle of crossing the Red Sea, Moses raised his staff and the waters parted, allowing the Israelites to escape the pursuing Egyptian army. This supernatural intervention not only ensured the physical liberation of the Israelites, but also underscored the omnipotent nature of the divine guidance that Moses enjoyed. One of the pinnacle moments in Moses' relationship with God occurred on Mount Sinai, where he received the 10 Commandments and the divine law. The encounter on the mountain was marked by thunder, lightning, and the sound of a trumpet, emphasizing the holiness and transcendence of God's presence. God inscribed the commandments on stone tablets, providing the Israelites with a moral and ethical framework that would shape their identity and relationship with God. The act of receiving the divine law on Mount Sinai was not a mere transmission of rules. It was a profound moment of communion between God and Moses. The detailed instructions on matters ranging from ethical conduct to religious rituals showcased God's desire for a personal relationship with his people. Moses, acting as an intermediary between God and the Israelites, faithfully delivered the commandments, embodying the spiritual guidance bestowed upon him. Moses' journey was not devoid of challenges and moments of testing faith. The incident of the golden calf, where the Israelites submitted to idolatry in Moses' absence, presented a significant trial. God's anger burned against the people, but Moses, in a commendable display of leadership and intercession, pleaded on their behalf. This highlights the complexity of Moses' role, both as a recipient of spiritual guidance and a mediator between God and the people. The journey through the wilderness, marked by scarcity of resources and the grumbling of the Israelites, further tested Moses' resilience and faith. Yet, at every junction, Moses turned to God for spiritual guidance. The provision of manna from heaven and water from the rock exemplified the continuous divine care and guidance that accompanied the Israelites throughout their journey. Like Moses led the Israelites, caregivers often find themselves in positions of leadership and guidance. They provide support, make decisions, and help those under their care navigate challenges. Moses faced numerous challenges, including the hardship in the desert and the resistance of the Israelites. Caregivers may encounter difficulties and need patience to overcome obstacles in their caregiving role. Moses advocated for the rights and freedom of the oppressed. Caregivers often advocate for the well-being of those in their care, especially if they are vulnerable or unable to speak up for themselves. Moses communicated with compassion, guiding and consoling the Israelites. Caregivers need effective communication skills and compassion to understand and address the needs of those they care for. Moses had to adapt to changing circumstances and show resilience. Caregivers often faced unpredictable situations requiring adaptability and the ability to bounce back from challenges. Moses conveyed important principles and laws to the Israelites. Caregivers also play an important part in teaching and educating those in their care. Moses received the Ten Commandments, providing moral and ethical guidance. Caregivers may offer spiritual or moral support to those they care for. Caring for others, especially in the role of a caregiver, can be emotionally and spiritually demanding. For many, seeking spiritual guidance from God becomes a source of strength and solace in navigating the challenges inherent in caregiving. The process of receiving spiritual guidance involves cultivating a deep connection with one's faith and a willingness to listen to the often whispers of God's wisdom. In the quiet moments of caregiving, a caregiver may find solace in prayer, creating a sacred space for communion with God. Caregivers then open themselves to a higher power, seeking guidance on how to best serve and support those entrusted to their care. The act of surrendering to God's wisdom allows caregivers to draw strength from a source beyond their own, providing a sense of purpose and a reminder that they are not alone in their journey. Scriptures and religious texts often serve as inspiration for caregivers, offering timeless wisdom and guidance on compassion, patience, and love. By immersing themselves in these teachings, caregivers find a reservoir of spiritual strength that empowers them to face the day-to-day challenges with grace. The lessons derived from their faith become a compass, guiding them in making decisions, showing empathy, and fostering an environment of spiritual healing. Connecting with a community of faith can be instrumental in the caregiver's spiritual journey. Sharing experiences, praying together, and seeking counsel from church leaders create a support system that reinforces the caregiver's connection to God. Through these communal bonds, caregivers receive not only spiritual guidance, but also the encouragement and understanding necessary to navigate the complexities of their role. A caregiver's path to receiving spiritual guidance from God is a deeply personal and intentional journey. It involves cultivating a relationship with the divine through prayer and scripture. By anchoring themselves in their faith, caregivers will find strength and wisdom needed to fulfill their caregiving responsibilities with grace and compassion.